Hi, Chi. Hi, man.
Hi, teacher.
Um, just want to see here. Okay. I see 11 and 1. Okay. So we are going to do, I just want to get there. Okay. Collins, let me get that for you. Here. IELTS. Collins speaking. Okay, we're going to do unit 7, 8, and 9 review. Let's go back to 7 then. Okay, we're going to concentrate on the speaking parts for unit 7, 8, and 9. Okay, let's go back to unit 7. Oh, that's 6 here. Okay, unit 7. Let's do the speaking parts here. Okay. Talk about the subject you are studying. So you can talk about any subject. It can be English, maths, Vietnamese, any subject, okay? What subject are you want to talk about or studying? What is the subject about? How you feel about it, and why it's interesting to you, okay? It can be English, maths, Vietnamese, anyone, okay? So you both have done this before. Quang, you can talk about the subject you are studying. Okay. Man, can you talk about a subject you are studying? Or do you need to think about it first? You can talk about it, yes? What is the subject you are wanting to talk about? Is it English? English? Okay. Tell me about the subject. What are you learning in English at the moment? Are you learning how to write stories? Are you learning how to speak fluently? What are you learning in English at the moment at school? Are you reading books?
Uh, uh, in school, I learn English because I can read a uh, story in story.
Okay, so what is interesting about learning English? Why is learning English interesting, man?
Because I want to talk with uh, I think it, mm,
Why is it interesting, do you think?
because I want to talk with uh, um, talk with foreigner, and I can speak with country people and talk with him.
Okay. Just put this up here. Okay. Let me just see the next one here. How do you feel about learning English, man?
Uh, what's, mm,
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about learning English?
I think it's so hard and interesting.
It's hard, okay. All right, Quynh, tell me about the subject you are studying.
Um, every day I have to study many different subjects at school, but my favorite one is English.
Sweetie, I
And
can't
it's
hear a word you are saying. You're not very clear. Say it slowly. Say it again.
yeah, every day I have to study many different subjects at school, but my favorite one is English. And it still has been the subject, and I spend most of my time for studying now. Mm, Firstly, fluent in English help me communicate with foreigners and tourists, therefore, therefore helping me to know many different cultures around the world. Mm, with a passion for English, I was a place to watch English movies and English music without translation. Today English is very important, so this is a subject we should not ignore, and I need determination to learn better.
Okay, good. So Quang Man, I want you to try again, like Chi did now. Tell me again about learning English. Talk about a subject you are studying.
So I subjects I like is English. Uh, uh, yeah, in school, I learn English. I can read a story and talk with foreigner. In free time, uh, I can talk with country friend in the world with English. Uh, I think English is interesting and hard.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I want Chi to say it one more time. Chi, slowly and clearly, okay?
Yeah. Every day I had to study many different subjects at school, but my favorite one is English. And it still has been the subject that I spend most of my time for studying now. Firstly, fluent in English help me communicate with foreigners and tourists. Therefore, helping me to know many different cultures around the world. With a passion for English, I was paid to watch English movies and listen to English music without challenge. English also opens up a job opportunity for everyone. It will be easy for you apply for a job to learn if you have a high level English. Today, English is very important, so this is subject we should not ignore and need determination to learn better.
Okay, good. Now, Chi, are your friends or family members also interested in learning English?
Because fluent is English help me communicate with foreigners and tourists, therefore helping me to know many different cultures around the world. With a passion for English, I was pleased to watch English movies and listen to English music without challenge. English also opens up jobs opportunities for everyone. It will be easy for you to apply for jobs and you love if you have a high level English.
Okay, but I can't hear your words. I can hear you speaking, but I can't hear your words. You are either not very clear on your sound or you're not saying your words properly, but I can't hear what you are saying. Try again. Tell me one more time. Maybe your speaker isn't good, but I can't hear your words clearly. Are your friends or family members also interested in learning English?
Because fluent in English help me communicate with foreigners and tourists, therefore helping me to know many different cultures around the world.
Sweetie, I
With a
can't hear
passion
your
for
words. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying. Let's see. If I have to type it, I don't know what to type. I don't know what you are saying. You are speaking properly, but I think it's your sound. Okay, try again. I'm going to type what I hear. Say again. Maybe your sound isn't good. I don't know what it is, but I can't hear you clearly. I can't help you if I can't hear you.
because fluent in English help me communicate with foreigners and tourists.
I don't know what you're saying, sweetie. Your parents are communicating with who? I don't know what you are saying, my love. It's difficult. Men, can you hear her? Can you hear what she's saying? I can hear her talk. Can you hear what she's saying, man?
Oh,
Can you hear Chi, man? Can you hear what she's saying?
I
You see, I can hear Minh, Chi. I can hear his words. I can't hear your words. I can only hear your voice. I can't hear words speaking, Chi. Maybe it's your sound. Okay, Minh. So here is an answer you can say. Yes, they are. My father and mother studied law at university, or my father is an English teacher, or my father is working in the office where he has to use English. And they think it's a very good subject for me to learn as well. My mom usually asks questions, and my dad read English books with me. I want a job where I can use my English to my advantage. Okay, so Chi, try again. Does your mother or father use English? You have to unmute. Try again. Does your father or mother use English? Chi?
Um, mm, my mother for questions from us. Usually my mother for questions for me, and uh, at night, my dad is reading a book English for me. Um,
Okay, now I can hear your words. Your mother is asking you questions and your father is reading a book to you. Okay. Okay, Chi, when you are studying at the university, do you think it's good to live with your family, or do you think it's good to live in the dorm, in the college? Or do you think you should stay with your family? Where will you live when you have to study further, when you have to go to college or to university? Will you stay with your parents still, or will you go to the university and stay there? So we're looking at this question here. Is it a good idea to live with your family when you are studying, or will you live with the college? What do you think, Chi? You need to unmute. I can't hear you, Chi. You need to unmute. I can't hear you, Chi. You are on mute. Okay. Do you think you must stay with your family? I can't hear you, Chi. She, you have to unmute, sweetie. I can't hear.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Men, is it a good idea to live with your family?
I think it's good because they can uh, help me with study and and share the experience share experience with me and can I can and I think it's good.
Okay. Here. So let's do this one here. Is it a good idea for your family when you are studying? That depends a lot on the nature of your relationship with your parents. If you have a good relationship with your parents, then stay. But because it's going to help you financially, it's going to help you with timing, with your food and clothes. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents and you fight all the time, then staying with them won't do you any good because you won't learn anything because you're going to fight with your parents all the time. So I would say it depends a lot on the nature of your relationship with your parents. Not to mention, you will save yourself a ton of time by not having to think about household chores as much as you would if you lived alone or with other messy, undisciplined students. Undisciplined students, okay? Obviously, not being burdened by concerns such as cooking and cleaning. Leaves plenty of room for long, uninterrupted study sessions. That depends a lot on the nature of your relationship with your parents. Not to mention, you will save yourself a ton of time by not having to think about household chores like cleaning, as much as you would if you lived alone or with other messy, undisciplined students. Obviously, not being burdened by concerns such as cooking and cleaning leaves plenty of room for long, uninterrupted study sessions. You can study because you don't have to. You can study because you don't have to clean or cook. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's read it. Is it a good idea to live with your family when you are studying? Men, you can read it first.
Just depend a lot on the nature of your relationship with your parent. Not to mention, you will save yourself a ton of time by not having to think about household chores as much as you would if you live alone or with other messy. Undisciplined students obviously not being burdened by contrast, cooking and cleaning leave plenty of room for long, uninterrupted study session.
Uninterrupted study sessions. Okay, Chi, you can read it.
That depends a lot on the nature of your relationship with your parents. Not to mention, you will save yourself a ton of time by not having to think about household chores as, as much would, as you wish if you live alone or with older maybe. Leadership like students or groups of a slow life, not being turned and by conscience such as cooking and cleaning leave plenty of room for long, beauty, beauty sessions.
Okay. I'm gonna save this one and I can send it to you. Okay, let's do the second one. Compare your experience, your education with your parents' education. So here you can say, well, most people in my generation tend to have at least a bachelor's degree. In other words, they cannot work until they have an appropriate education. In contrast, people in the older generation did not have a lot of opportunities to study. In the past, only rich people would have the opportunity to study. And it's how they communicated too. Also, people in the older generation focused more on working than studying. Thus, people in my generation have a higher education than people in my parents' generation. And to be more specific, my generation has the opportunity to study abroad. We also have the opportunity to receive a scholarship, which my parents' generation only received it if they had a high position in the military. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay, so most people in my generation tend to Let me write that word for you. Tend. Okay. Tend to have at least a bachelor's degree. In other words, they cannot work until they have an appropriate education or high education. In contrast, people in the older generation did not have a lot of opportunity to study. In the past, only the rich people would have the opportunity to study. Also, people in the older generation focused more on working than studying. They had to go and work after school. There was no time or money for studying. They had to go and work and make money. Thus, people in my generation have a higher education than people in my parents' generation. And to be more specific, my generation has the opportunity to study abroad. You can go study in America or in Australia. We also have the opportunity to receive a scholarship, which my parents' generation only received it if they had a high position in the military. Then they received a scholarship. But the normal children didn't receive it, where now they can receive it. You don't have to be in the military. Okay, Minh, you can read it.
Well, most people in my generation tend to have at least a bachelor's degree. In other words, they cannot bachelor degree. In other words, they cannot work until they have an approved right education. In contrast, people in the older generation did not have a lot of opportunity to study. In the past, only rich people would have the opportunity to study. Also, people in the older generation focus more on working than study. Thus, people in my generation have a higher education than people in my parents' generation. And to be more specific, my generation has the opportunity to study abroad. We also have the opportunity to receive a scholarship, which my parents' generation already received. If they have a high position in the military.
That's very good. Okay, Chi, you can read it.
While most people in my generation tend to have at least a bachelor's degree. In other words, they cannot go to university, they have an population education in culture. People in the older generation did not have a lot of opportunity to study. In the past, only rich people could have the opportunity to study. Also, people in the older generation focus more on working than studying. Thus, people in my generation have a higher education than people in my parents' generation. And to be more specific, my generation has the opportunity to study abroad. We also have a opportunity to research a school leadership with my parent generation only design. It is they have a high person in the military.
Military. Um, Okay, I'm going to save it and then we can read it again. So, well, most people in my... Okay, I did read it to you. I don't have to read it to you again. Okay, now let's talk about the... Let's talk about the education system. Do you think your country has a good education system, Minh? What do you think about your country's education? Do you think it's good?
Yes, everything is good.
Why?
Because can they can have a lot to be uh, subject teach and many teacher can help me the subject and uh, teach take for the experience with me.
Okay, Chi, what do you think? Do you think your Vietnam has a good education system?
Um, to be honest, I chose it not mainly because I really want to become an English teacher. Um, I think the real benefit of being a teacher is the sense of pleasure and advice. When you see your student make a proper way, decided. I have been an English education side. I was a child and I want to teach and inspire my students to have interesting in this language.
Let me just see here. Do you what hours do you go to school, man?
What uh,
What time do you go to school?
uh, I go to school in 6 a.m.
Mhm. And then what time do you get
and
home?
I go home in 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock you come home?
Yes.
And when do you go again then?
Uh, in on Monday from Saturday.
So you only go from 7 to 11. You don't go in the afternoon. Do you go in the afternoon to
In
school
the
too?
no. Sometimes I study in afternoon
You
because in
study in the
afternoon is because uh in my school learn uh we learn in the morning and um, not learn in afternoon.
okay. Okay, so now you can say here, education is always the priority of every nation, including Vietnam. Whether it is developing or not. Being a student in Vietnam for nearly, now you can say how many years you are a student, has made me have some realization about the quality of education here. Okay, Now you can say about the education. So say you have been a student for 10 years or for 8 years, okay? Vietnam has a good education system, but some things need to be changed or adjusted. Sometimes too much theory without practical knowledge or experience in learning in our education system has led to some mistakes during teaching and training students in Vietnam. So here you're saying that you can't just learn theory. You need to practice the theory. You can't just learn an essay in English and then go talk about it and think you're going to do great. You need to have knowledge about that essay or whatever you are doing. It can be Vietnamese, it can be math, it can be history. You need to know what you are talking about. You can't just learn it like a parrot. You need to have knowledge. So education in every country is important. There isn't one country that thinks, we don't care about education. The children can go work. They don't have to learn. So education is always the priority of every nation, including Vietnam, whether it is developing or not. Being a student in Vietnam for nearly 5 years, 6 years, 8 years has made me have some realization about the quality of education here. Vietnam has a good education system, but some things need to be changed or adjusted. That's in every country, not just Vietnam. Sometimes too much theory without practical knowledge or experience in learning in our education system has led to some mistakes during teaching and training students in Vietnam. Because you have to practical, you have to go do it, experience it before you can learn about it. Okay, Minh, you try. Do you think your country has a good education system?
Education is always the priority of every nation, including Vietnam. Whether it's developed or not, being a student in Vietnam for nearly 5 years, uh, five, five four, has made me have some realization about the quality of education here. Vietnam has a good education system, but something needs to be changed or ad- adjusted. Sometimes too much theory without practical knowledge of experience in learning in our education system has led to some mistake during teaching and training students in Vietnam.
Good. Okay, Chi, you try.
Education is always the priority of every nation, including Vietnam, whether it is developing or not. Being a student in Vietnam for nearly 5 years has made me have some realization about the quality of education here. Vietnam has a good education system, but something needs to be changed or at this time. Sometimes too much theory without practical knowledge or experience in learning in our education system has led to some mistakes during teaching and training students in this time.
Okay. Now I want you to go. I'm going to send it so you can review it again and try and remember these answers, okay? Okay, talk about the subject you are studying. So let's go here again. It can be any subject, okay? Men, you can go first. Talk about the subject you are studying. Tell us which subject it is, what the subject is about, and how you feel about it or why it's interesting to you.
Um, wait. I think every day I have many different subjects at school, but my favorite subject is English. Um, I try to write my diary and other small story in English so that I can learn to use grammar. English is one of the main subjects at school, and many people have studied it to get a better job. Other subjects are what I need to learn, but English is the one that I can find out in study. Mm. Um, I can listen and get well to the American accent whenever I watch TV and with book.
Okay.
I think I am so grateful that English is my favorite subject, and I love it.
Okay, good. Chi, tell me about the subject you are studying.
Um, every day I had to study many different subjects at school, but my favorite one is English, and it still has been the subject that I spend most of my time on until now. English helped me confidently speak to foreigners and colleagues. From here, it helped me to understand the culture. Mm, with a passion for English, I was a place to watch English movies and listen to English music with our channel. Often, my mother questions for English for me, and my mom says it's good. Today, English is very important, so this is a subject we should not ignore, and I need determination to learn better.
Okay, good. Okay, let's have a look at jobs. What job would you like to do one day, men? Do you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a football player? What job would you like to do?
I want to businessman.
What business? Money business, financing? Do you want to be a engineer or architect? What businessman?
I think is engineering.
Engineering. Okay, Chi, what would you like to be?
I want to become an English teacher.
English teacher. Okay. All right, we're going to review Unit 8 next time, okay? You both did a good job today. Well done. I'll see you next time. Bye, man. Bye, Chi.